Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My directive manual, inspired by the Manual for General Housework from Saidiya Hartman's Wayward Lives, Beautiful Experiments, Intimate Histories of Social Upheaval, meaning of or pertaining to the hand or hands. The following research and installation images are a selection from a 2-year project with the Dia Foundation in New York, specifically Dia Bridgehampton. With even more specificity, thinking beyond title and deed, it is also the site of the Shinnecock Indian Nation, who have lived on Long Island, the northeastern coast of the United States, in close contact with the Atlantic Ocean for approximately 13,000 years. And in the purview of freedmen's towns, of which most notable Freetown, East Hampton, Long Island, and Eastville, Sag Harbor, Long Island, and the residue of settler colonialism beginning in 1640. I'm interested in this entanglement, its past, present, and future echoes. Such encounters are the basis for my response to the call of this conference, Loophole of Retreat, and the ideation of Harriet Jacobs by way of Simone Leigh, Rashida Bumbre, Saidiya Hartman, and Tina Kempt. The images are set as a counterpoint to the quotes, questions, titles, research vignettes, and studio notations that will follow. The title of this presentation is Untitled Birthmark, a manual for sculpture as an analgesic, acting to relieve pain. There are 7 sections. They are as followed: Untitled Birthmark, a manual for sculpture as an analgesic. 2, how to handle ruptures and the unimaginable. 3, how to riff. 4, how to mend. 5, how to reposition. 6, how to embody. And 7, how to ritualize. Untitled Birthmark, a manual for sculpture as an analgesic, section 1. Try describing the alienation and bizarre sensation one feels while reading a map of this sort. The banality of its charting and impressive marks, delineating, measuring, a striving for an exactness relating to the depth of the Atlantic Ocean. Aiming to soften its currents, subdue its waves, storms, and eerie calm through lines and angles, a system of making sense, flattening space and time. But what if the uncharted, the unpictured, is irresolute yet resolute sites of catastrophe, sites of new beginnings, births, illnesses, desires, struggles, collaborations, love, longing, fighting, healing, and sensing despair, all entangled, yet laying there, flat, still unpictured, underdeveloped, beyond capture. And how to square or to encircle this drawing map with the sensation of knowing, a kind of welling up and sensing there is more here. How to handle ruptures and the unimaginable, section 2. Art historian Griselda Pollock explores the concept of, I quote, encounter object as a model to move beyond the restrictive dichotomies of word and image, verbal and visual language, object and text, and into the politics of difference via an understanding of interpretation as collaborative activity solicited by the artwork as an event that precipitates an encounter with difference, end quote. This position opens up considerations of why make, why work, why aim to understand in physical, tangible terms, material terms. For Pollock, she takes her cue from theorist and artist Brusha Ittinger and explores her argument that it is the destiny and desire of artworks that is to be interpreted. Via the suggestion of curator Oluremi Onubanjo to read The Black Shoals, Offshore Formations of Black and Native Studies by Tiffany Letabo King, a poignant section of the book titled Beyond the Iconicity of Black Labor, deepens and expands this question of how to handle ruptures and the unimaginable in the following precise ways. And I quote, "While labor is important, when it is used as the exclusive governing analytic in the scholarship on U.S. slavery and U.S. settler colonialism, it hides more than it reveals. Specifically, labor as a governing frame obscures other processes, relations, locations, and symbolic economies that Black bodies and representations of Black embodiment produce and sustain. Labor, the one particular and useful frame of analysis for analyzing colonial and subsequent capitalist contexts, imposes its own totalizing regimes of reason and visuality. To obscure, to sustain, and to subvert totalizing regimes of reason and visuality describes forms of navigation, a choreography of sorts made by individuals or large masses of people, and a forming in spatial terms towards a free form, a freedom of movement, a building of a multiphonic, polyrhythmic cacophony. How to riff, untitled basin, hum, or hymn, that is HMM, HUM, or HYMN, section 3. Sinnerman, released in 1962 by artist Nina Simone, acts as a reminder of the poetic and poignant echo and transformative power of words, utterances, sounds, modeled and handled to evoke all of the unsaid, but felt deeply in the in-between, in the negative spaces, the boundlessness of silences across generations, living in the realm of post-memory. You know how it goes. Oh, Sinnerman, where you gonna run to? Sinnerman, where you gonna run to? Where you gonna run to? All on that day, we got to run to the rock. Please hide me, I run to the rock. Please hide me, run to the rock. Please hide here, all on that day. But the rock cried out, I can't hide you. I ain't gonna hide you here, all on that day. How to riff, untitled Shinnecock Bay Atlantic Sound. I said, rock, what's the matter with you, rock? Don't you see I need you? I run to the sea, I run to the sea, all on that day. So I run to the river, I run to the sea, I run to the sea, all on that day. How to riff, untitled Bay Valley Rift. Sedimentary rock starts forming when soil and other materials on Earth's surface are eroded and settle, forming one layer of sediment. As time passes, layers build and undergo intense pressures. Rocks are formed and reformed. Melted rock may come in the form of magma or lava when it is found underneath the Earth's surface, like granite, pumice, and obsidian. How to mend, section 4. Returning to King, who argues that, quote, to look at and contend with the fact or experience of slavery, the enslaved Black body presents a remainder and something in excess of labor. The Black enslaved body is always something more, a fungible, expanding, and becoming fugitive state. Furthermore, a focus just on the Black laboring body may preclude thinking about the ways that Black bodies are imagined within other symbolic economies, such as conquest, native genocide, the Cartesian notion of nature, colonial taxonomies, and ecological destruction, end quote. How to reposition, section 5. By approaching image and object repositioned as interrelated and as inseparable modalities, it is an expanding immutable form in space. To expand a form of address, an address towards spatiality that includes geologic time, pointing to a deep time measure. Can this happen through the exploration of ideas relating to light, sound, and inertia as they are pulled into a spatial matrix of image, object, echo, a close parallel to an idea, feeling, or event? These are not rocks, but amalgams, an echo of a different sort, merging the fragments of the depths of the typography of the Atlantic Ocean with the contours of calm water bays, inlets, where land curves inward to receive the memory of currents that traveled long distances, ocean waterways. Can such formations be part of a continuum of what art historian Richard J. Powell describes as a blues aesthetic? This mode of idiosyncratic expression influenced by the Black musical tradition of the blues, creating phrasing, repetition, and at times syncopation as spatial and space-making, archiving, layering, and building. How to embody, section 6. Eschewing containment by calling on light and the surrounding landscape, no longer pictured but felt, experienced, reminded, internalized, and humbled. How to ritualize, section 7. Resonance, the quality in a sound of being deep, full, and reverberating, the reinforcement or prolongation of sound by reflecting from a surface or by the synchronous vibration of surrounding objects. Consider the use of a Fluxus score to proliferate, repeat, and acknowledge in collaboration with artists Jamal Cyrus, Jason Moran, Emmanuel Wilkins, and Rashida Bumbre. And here it is. For solo piano, alto saxophone, or tambourine, the score may be realized in any imaginative way or in conjunction with or in response to the recording of the song Evidence. Justice. Thank you.